How's everybody doing? Hi, I'm sorry that it took me a minute to do part two of the incompatibility of signs for the earth and fire. We're dealing with Virgo and Aries. And we mentioned in part one that there's a mythology between the two. And the mythology is that of healer and the hero, the rescuer, and that who is the redeemer. So the relationship between Virgo and because we're jumping right in because we have a lot to cover, and I want to get into the other incompatibility of signs. So we're gonna jump right in and go right into it. Now, again, like taking off from part one, the uh, the fact that it's fire and earth makes them, although very incompatible elements, personality and ego wise, you can say that these people are very, very different in every single way. However, when it comes to Virgo and Aries, because there is a mythology that they share, it actually can work. And I've actually known a few couples that are Virgo Aries that have actually managed to live pretty harmoniously, able to strike a balance. Now, when you have incompatible elements, you have to understand that the relationship dynamic between the two of you is not going to run smoothly because you're going to come from one set of values and the other person is going to come from a totally different set of values than you. And even if you were to share the same values, your approach to life and the philosophy of that approach to life will be distinctly different. So then, if you get together with someone of a value system that is a polar extreme of yours or from yours, how do you strike a balance? See, and that's the thing that you have to learn about incompatibility of signs. And we're talking about the different elements. So when it comes to fire and earth, there are certain rules that you gotta know. Okay. Um, First of all, uh, understand that, and this goes with any sign that you are, whether it's compatible element or incompatible element. It's very important that you ask yourself right off the bat, um, what are you willing to give up and what are you willing to sacrifice yourself? And this has nothing to do with the signs. This is you personally, because of course the way you're going to respond will have a lot to do with what kind of sign and element you are or belong to. But it also speaks a lot about what your needs are. So understand that when you're dealing with the incompatibility of sign, understand right off the bat that you cannot take for granted if the person doesn't understand where you come from as far as your own value system or doesn't respect it. Because that will most likely occur when you're dating someone that's not of the same compatibility of the elements that you belong in. Because like for example, earth and water, again, that's sextile. And sextile in astrology means opportunity. And it also means harmony, meaning that you guys can work together. You can share resources. Okay. When you have opposite elements, well, no, this is not gonna work that way. Now that analogy doesn't work in this respect. No. When you're dealing with compatibility of elements like earth and water and fire and air, it lends to a sextile in astrology, mathematically speaking, which means opportunity and ease and flow, meaning that there's a compatibility. It's simpatico. But when you're dealing with incompatibility of the elements, which leads to the incompatibility of signs, then you're dealing with conflicting values. Conflicting values. And when you're dealing with conflicting values, you have to automatically make a decision to strike a balance. But when you strike a balance, that means that you're going to have to come halfway. And in order to come halfway, you have to sacrifice and leave something behind. And vice versa for the person also coming your way. He's going to have to leave something behind and sacrifice to meet you halfway. And that's where the problem lies. That depending on what is called to be sacrificed, you might not want to do it. You might not think that it's worth it, or that he or she is worth it. That it's better to just play the game and just skim through the surface. Because unlike the compatibility of the elements, there's a mutual harmony any way you slice it. But when it comes to incompatibility of elements, you're dealing with a force of nature that is unique to each person in a relationship. So there's no way that one can cancel the other. So then how do you make it work? You make it work by sacrificing and also accepting something that may be completely different and foreign from what you know. So outside of astrology, talking as far as relationship dynamics, you have to be able to really step outside of your own box, because we're all placed in a box. You're taking outside the box. And then when you're taking outside the box, you can see the perspective of another person, the angle or point of view of another perspective that's different from your own. And that could be a shocker in itself. So if you can get over the shock, then find a way to adapt. And that's a whole other process. If you can do that, then that's a lot of growth. That's a lot of growth. And there's potential for you to get along with anybody of any element or of any sign. Because at the end of the day, human relationships is an evolution. And that's not exclusive to any one sign. That's the entire human condition. Man and a woman, and then you have a child. So therefore, in order for that child, the man and the woman have to enter into a relationship. Otherwise, the sex is not going to happen, and then you don't have a child, and then you don't have a continuation of species. So relationships in the human condition is extremely important. We are put here to relate to each other, interpersonally and also individually and also universally as a group and as a collective. But these are processes. This is something that you are born knowing, ready-made. It doesn't work that way. It's an evolution and it's a tried and true method. And that's something that has to be approached with every relationship. So, with Aries and Virgo, we have to break it into two categories. We have to, because the Aries woman with a Virgo man is a different dynamic than a Virgo woman and a Aries man. It's completely different. So I'm gonna have to explain both because they are different. I'll give you some generalities, that both can fit in. Okay. You have to understand that Virgo and Aries are vastly different from each other. But both of them are also very intriguing, and they find each other intriguing because they are that different. I don't know. Just a flash came over. We are in retrograde, so I'm so scared that it might shut off on me, even though I've worked so hard to get everything perfect. Um, it's about 4:30 in the morning, but I gotta get this stuff out because I got so much more to cover. I gotta finish the rest of the incompatibility of signs, and then talk about numerology and other stuff that you guys have put in my suggestion box at the theater blog that you would like me to talk about. So I got to be kind of very quick about it. So yeah, so both Virgo and Aries are very different from each other, and the fact that they are different is what's sexy and intriguing. It is. Virgo, though, might be intimidated by the aggressiveness and confidence of Aries, you know, because it's something that if the Virgo is very methodical, very systemic, pragmatic, but so is Aries. But the thing is that both have different approaches. Both of them got very, very different approaches. And I gotta say that the approach of Aries it does seem a little unrealistic at best. It seems unrealistic, but you know what? He gets it done. Even though it may seem unrealistic, he gets it done and he delivers. The thing is that the way he does it is not a way that Virgo would do it. And Virgo is really taken aback at the ingenuity of Aries. Because then what does that mean? This can cause some insecurities to Virgo. Because even though Aries should not have won, he won anyway. Now he has other weaknesses that Virgo can step in and kind of complement. But the confidence that I think Virgo should have can be supplied by Aries. Over time, Virgo will learn confidence. Virgo will learn to take risks like Aries, and will learn to take losses as well as winnings, because you got to take one. Well, you can't take one without the other. You can't take one without the other. So but that's a process that Virgo has to learn, and learn slowly. So if Virgo is shy and timid, and maybe slightly retiring, uh, the effort might have to come from the Aries partner to kind of bring Virgo along and kind of teach him to take risk and to be comfortable with the consequences of those risks, whether it's winning or losing, So there's going to have to be a lot of nurturing from the Aries polarity in order to make Virgo feel confident and feel valuable in the relationship. Because one of the things about Virgo, in order for Virgo to function in a relationship psychologically, Virgo needs to feel needed and needs to be a utilitarian. Aries, not at all. Because I ain't even gonna lie and say not so much. No, not at all. He don't need you to care or not care or be concerned. He prefers that you don't ask any questions and that you just take his word and that he got this. You could be like, honey, it's already the third of the month. Where's the rent money? I got it. But it's already tomorrow. You're not gonna charge us. I got it. Didn't I tell you like that? And believe it when he tells you he got it. And it may not follow the methodology that can make Virgo feel more secure and more that he's in control because Virgo needs to feel in control. It's Earth, the lowest vibration of all the four elements. So things need to be, so they need to follow a routine. They need to follow a system and order. That's very important to Virgo. And Aries doesn't care for that. And I'm a Virgo with an Aries moon, and I have an Aries mother. So I know, that, listen, I'll get it done. I don't care about the details. I'm a Virgo. I'm an expert at details. When I have to get to it, I'll get to it. But right now, I'm going to jump from A to Z. That's Aries. That's Aries. And that might be difficult for Virgo to understand, and to be able to even respect. He may have to respect it over time, but it does take time for him to respect that, and it also takes trust. There are some Aries that are reckless and don't deserve the trust of Virgo. But then again, they're probably young. Everything is an evolution. And when you're dealing with incompatibility of signs, you have to understand that in order to make a relationship work, when both of you have polar opposite needs and wants and even interests, then it's going to have to take a concentrated effort to make it work. You have to make it work. If the relationship is that important, you will make it work. But understand that you're going to have to sacrifice. And the sacrifices, when you're dealing with incompatibility of signs, is not always easy. It's not always easy. So that's one thing. The aggressiveness of Aries can be very intimidating to Virgo. So if we're dealing with the Virgo woman and an Aries man, because again, it's different the other way around. If you're dealing with an Aries man, you're going to have to understand as a woman, a Virgo woman, that he's really a child, and that you're going to have to not treat him like a child, but kind of like ignore him like a child. You don't ignore a child where you neglect a child. So you're not going to ignore this man and, breach his dignity as a man. You're just not going to take his reactions and antics seriously. But when it comes to execution of a purpose, do believe that he's on point. He on point. As a Virgo woman, you should have no concerns with the Aries man. No concerns. Because he will deliver. And you are the earth maiden. You like to be taken care of. And you like things to be secured, and finances are important to you. And you need a man that is out there untiring to secure them resources. Because Miss Virgo girl, she likes that paper. Who don't, right? So Aries is that type of man that can provide that for you, Miss Virgo. Okay? Aries, the Aries man will find the Virgo girl mysterious. He'll find her mysterious, elusive, and sexually provocative. Oh yeah. See and that's what's gonna bring him in. Remember, Virgos are some of the most attractive people on the planet, and there's so many sex symbols under Virgo and Leo. It's crazy. It's crazy. Really. So Virgo, she's an attractive girl now, and woman, and fertile and sensual. A real class act, and that's going to stir Aries, the Aries male. The vulnerability, though, of Virgo will cause Aries to rise to want to protect her. Virgo is the maiden. Virgo is the maiden. Taurus is the earth mother. And Capricorn is the earth queen. Cardinal earth, right? So Virgo is the most vulnerable of the earth signs. And she's innocent and naive. Remember, she pulls from Pisces, the solution of the ego. She can be totally selfless, giving, to the point where a serial killer won't even kill her because he'll be like, oh, I don't want to kill her. She's so pure. Oh, she's like that in her heart. Yeah, she is. Okay. And that makes her vulnerable, at least from the outside looking in. Because Miss Virgo girl is scandalous. I told you there's 4 of them, right? Look at my Virgo. Look at my video on Virgo women. So, but he's still gonna rise to protect her, and that's a beautiful thing about him. That's a beautiful thing. The psychological self. Okay, I got here. The psychological self-unawareness of Aries will get him into trouble. That is true. That is actually very true. And only Virgo will be able to rescue him. Because again, this is pulling from the baby. He's the baby psychologically. And sometimes, he's moving so fast that he doesn't see the mistakes that he's making until he's made them. Virgo will be very good in protecting him from that. Very good. Very, very good. On a psychological level, though, who would be more astute? Virgo or Aries? The answer will be Virgo. And the reason why? Because Virgo pays attention to detail. Aries hates details and the mundane. Both signs are capable of developing mutual respect and friendships, however, towards each other. Now, again, talking about the cardinal immutable emphasis, because Aries is cardinal and Virgo is mutable. So you have to understand that one is going to be all about go, 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 and the other one is going to be more wait. Okay? The psychological behavior of these elements. Aries always wants to move around and do, and respond. Virgo is slow to act and she evaluates. Her psychological approach to the daily vicissitudes of the mundane life is intolerable to Aries. Aries can handle the picture while Virgo handles the particular of that picture. If you let Aries take care of the big picture, Virgo will take care of the particulars. When Aries becomes overwhelmed, Virgo assures him. Aries provides confidence and a booster to Virgo in return. Okay, you have to remember, Virgo must remember, you have to remember 5 points when it comes to Virgo. Okay? In order to keep the Aries man as a Virgo woman, keep it fresh and new. Don't take the temper tantrum personally when he goes into his tirades. And take risks. Take sexual risks. He's edgy. He's freaky too. And you could be freaky too. And he likes all kinds of edgy stuff. Show, don't tell. Okay? Aries is visual. You must use grand gestures to get to the communication across to Aries. You got to use your hands and you got to use grand gestures because he doesn't respond much with words. Let him be the hero. Let him be the rescuer. 5 things you need to know about the Virgo woman, though. She is modest and socially and culturally correct when in public. Behind closed doors, she's a freak, though. However, with that being said, she's not going to be that for you if she hasn't gotten your trust first. She's essentially shy at the beginning. You must be gently forceful with her and constantly try to win her over by being creative, innovative, and clever. And she'll open up in ways, she'll open up. and in more ways than one, if you know what I'm talking about. So I'm telling you, and this is the compatibility. We're done. Thank you.